guys, welcome back to the recap. So for this episode of the recap, we have NXT Takeover 30. First, we started off the night with Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher. It was a really good match. I like Timothy Thatcher. I've heard of Timothy Thatcher. I've seen clips of him, and then since he got to NXT, I've been seeing a couple of his matches. He's a really good submission and technical and kind of brawler wrestler, which I kind of like. And then I've always liked Finn Balor, even when he was Prince Devitt in New Japan. So they had a good match, a good back and forth, because both of them can be Finn Balor can adapt to styles too. Finn Balor can be a brawler. He's a good striker. He can be a high flyer. He can be a kind of technical and submission wrestler. He's not too crazy with the submissions, but ultimately Finn Balor hit the coup de grace and he took home the win. All right, next up that we had on Takeover 30. We had the North American title match. The only thing I have to say, I'm a little disappointed in the ladder match. I feel like they've had better ladder matches before in NXT, and I feel like they could have. I'm like, it's a ladder match. I'm not a wrestler, so it takes a lot to be a professional wrestler. You put your body on the line. So many things you have to remember of when this is gonna happen. So I'm not knocking what they did, because they have to be a whole nother type of person to go out there to put their bodies on the line doing all this crazy stuff for our entertainment. So much respect to any professional wrestler, but as it goes for like professional wrestling matches and a ladder match, and based on the other ladder matches they've had before, this one I was a tiny bit, it wasn't a complete bust, it was just I was a tiny bit disappointed, and I feel like it could have been a little bit better and more exciting and stuff like that. I feel like it was kind of sloppy a little bit for some competitors that was in that ladder match. But anyway, guess who won? Which, to be honest, there's a lot of people in that match who could have won that I wouldn't have been mad about and that I wanted to win. And one of my guys that I wanted to win won. Damian Priest. Damian Priest finally got the North American title. He likes archery. I like archery. I have a bow over here. I don't know if you can see it. It's behind the kendo sticks and the sword. But yeah, I like Damian Priest. I like his character and his in-ring skills and stuff. And let's see where he goes. Let's see how he evolves now that he's the North American champion. He wants to live in infamy, so let's see. All right, next up we have one of the matches a lot of people were looking forward to. Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole, baby. So, Adam Cole, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I'm not a great fan of Pat McAfee. I've only found out about Pat McAfee because he joined WWE. I would say he's good at stirring the pot with people, pretty much, and especially when it comes to like instigating stuff and whatnot. So I'll give that to Pat McAfee. Watching this match, I can tell you one thing about Pat McAfee. I respect this man's athleticism, because he wasn't doing like a lot of technical crazy stuff wrestling, but the man can move. Like, he's quick, he's very agile, and for somebody, a big football player, this man was doing backflip off the top rope, landing on his feet. He got some height on drop kicks, suicide dives, swantons on people outside the ring and stuff like that. Pat McAfee, he is a very gifted athlete, and I will give that to him. I liked the match, but at the same time I didn't. Well, let me tell you what happened. So Adam Cole beat Pat McAfee, which I was praying that he would, because it's Adam Cole, baby. How do you go from being the longest reigning NXT champion and being in this business for so long to losing to Pat McAfee? So he didn't lose, he won, which I like that he won. The only thing is, I feel like the match was too close. Like, it seemed like Adam Cole was here, and then Pat McAfee was like here. Like, Pat McAfee was right there, and he came close to beating Adam Cole a bunch of times, and not even with roll-ups and stuff. Like, he would do a wrestling move, and then Adam Cole would be down for the count and would kick out right before 3. I feel like that happened like 2 or 3 times in the match, where I feel like Adam Cole, now I'm not saying he should be up here, Pat McAfee should be down here, because Pat McAfee is a phenomenal athlete, and there's been so many different athletes that have come from different sports to WWE and excelled, where it's been like Baron Corbin, because he was a football player. Brock Lesnar used to be a football player, but then again, Brock Lesnar also used to be, a collegiate style wrestler, which kind of gave him if you come from like the basic collegiate style Greco-Roman wrestling, and then to transfer to pro wrestling, it shouldn't be that big of a, shouldn't be that big of a transition for you. It should be natural. Kurt Angle, collegiate style wrestler, he came from that to pro wrestling. Some people have come from other sports. Ridge Holland has come from rugby, very physical contact sport, into WWE, into just wrestling. He's doing very, very well. I'm pretty sure he was wrestling even before he got to NXT. Let's see, who else comes from another sport? All these guys who are coming, guys and gals coming from UFC, mixed martial arts backgrounds, and then they come to, and I don't expect mixed martial artists and stuff to have such a big transition when it comes to, because they're used to being hit, physical contact, doing moves on people, whether it's submissions or striking, so I don't expect them. And a lot of UFC fighters, they have to practice with the wrestling as well, like the collegiate style wrestling, because, when you're on the floor and you gotta protect yourself on the floor, you basically wrestling, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's not the same thing as wrestling, but it's close with the holds and you gotta transition out of things and whatnot. Adam Cole's been wrestling for how long now, and won all these titles and stuff like that. Pat McAfee is a punter from NFL. There should be a clear difference in skill when it comes to in-ring performance, like not even athleticism, just holds and techniques and how you just use the ring to your advantage and ring generalship and stuff like that. I feel like Adam Cole should have been here. Pat McAfee should have been here. Pat McAfee, I feel like he still should have had chances to. Sorry about the light. I don't know why the camera keeps doing that, but it keeps readjusting to the light. But I feel like Pat McAfee should have been here and still do those flips and crazy stuff that he was doing. And I'm not saying he shouldn't have gotten any pinfalls. Well, not any like any pinning predicaments on Adam Cole. I just feel like it was happening a little too often, and Adam Cole didn't really get to shine his wrestling. He didn't really get to show off and pretty much wrestle circles around Pat McAfee. That's the one thing I didn't like, was I'm very happy that Adam Cole won though, because if he would have lost, then my opinion of that match, NXT would have been way down. Next up on NXT Takeover 30, we had Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai. They had a really good match. I'm a big fan of Io Shirai and Dakota Kai. They're two gifted, phenomenal female wrestlers, and they did really good in that match. You had Raquel Gonzalez, who came out with Dakota Kai, and she was kind of causing distractions during the match and stuff like that. So I didn't know if Io Shirai was going to win. I was hoping Io Shirai would win and retain her title, but I didn't know if she was going to win with Raquel Gonzalez on the outside of the ring. But then towards the end, right before Dakota Kai was about to win, because of Raquel Gonzalez, Rhea Ripley came out to help Io Shirai, and Io Shirai retained the title. And lastly, on NXT Takeover 30, and I feel like NXT Takeover 30 was kind of short. Like, I feel like usually they have more matches, but hey, it could just be me. We had Keith Lee versus Killian Cross. I don't know how I feel about it, because it kind of made Keith Lee look kind of weak a little bit. Like, Keith Lee is this guy who was running through so many different people on his rise to the top, and we have a new NXT champion. So Killian Cross ended up beating Keith Lee, which I didn't expect, because honestly, I feel like Keith Lee just got the title, and even though NXT did Keith Lee good, I feel like they did him wrong at the same time. And the reason why I feel like they did Keith Lee wrong, like they did him good and they did him wrong though, was because the man was the North American champion, right? He just won the world title like a month ago. He probably had like one or two title defenses, especially if you just come off of somebody like Adam Cole, who for over a year held on to the world title and had so many title defenses and really got to shine and take NXT to the next level. And then you have Keith Lee, who had it for like a month and a half, and he just loses it. And Keith Lee, Keith Lee is a bigger competitor than Adam Cole. Like, maybe Adam Cole's a little bit more of a better technician than Keith Lee, but Keith Lee is a huge competitor. You wouldn't expect him to get beat just like that. And if this was his decision, I don't know why it was his decision, but I wouldn't have given up the North American title, because as soon as he won the world title, he had to give up the North American title. And you know, he had this whole thing where he said, I'm gonna give up the North American title to focus only on the world title. But then he lost the world title a couple of weeks after that. He put all his energy into focusing on the world title and lost it. Like, what was the point of that? And I feel like I don't think that was his decision. It might have been, but if it wasn't his decision, they did him wrong. Because why give up? Who wants to give up 2 titles? Like, literally, you're a multiple champion. You're the first ever person to hold North American title and the NXT heavyweight title at the same time. You're the first person to ever do it. You just got the world title. You're going to give up the North American title that you've been holding on for so long and that you've brought to another level. Like, I don't understand that. So that's why I feel like they did Keith Lee good and wrong at the same time, because they had him become the first ever guy to do this. He got to the mountaintop and then immediately give up the North American title. Oh, in a couple of weeks, we have this new wrestler who's like, his character's a little confusing and he can't feel pain and stuff like that. And he just, Killian Cross, like, you know, it's been a couple of weeks and he's been there for, I would say, like 2 months, close to 3. But Killian Cross just got to NXT and now he's the world title. And he's not the first person to do it. But, dude, like, come on. Like, he could have won another title. He could have won the North American title, like, or a tag team title. Like, he really knocked off somebody who just got the world title, which was Keith Lee, a big, strong competitor. Like, Keith Lee is not like a molehill. This dude is a mountain, and Killian Cross just ran through him pretty much. So I kind of didn't like it. I did enjoy some parts of that match. I feel like it could have been better. It wasn't that exciting as I was watching it. Like, it was, I was sitting there watching it and I was like, this is decent, but it's not like making me be like, oh snap and stuff like that. But like, literally, man, I feel like they did Keith Lee dirty, to be honest. This is my opinion. Some people feel differently, but I feel like they did Keith Lee dirty. But anyway, that's the end of NXT Takeover 30. So this NXT Takeover 30, it was a decent takeover, but it wasn't their best, to be honest with you. I know, like, they're working with things with like COVID and not having a crowd and stuff like that, but it was not a good Takeover 30 in my opinion compared to the rest of the NXT takeovers they've had in terms of like the lineup with matches and like who won titles, who retained. This was not a good one, honestly. Like, I enjoyed Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher, an opening match with no title implications with it, and the Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez, versus Dakota Kai match, more than I enjoyed the North American, the Adam Cole match, and the Keith Lee match. And all those matches were supposed to be like the big matches. The Keith Lee match was for the NXT World Title. That was supposed to be a huge match in their NXT Takeover. The North American title ladder match was supposed to be a big match in the Takeover. Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee was supposed to be it draws eyes from other worlds, like the sports world of NFL and TMZ and all this other stuff, and ESPN were all reporting on Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole and all this other stuff, and Io Shirai versus Dakota Kai, a big match for the women's title. And all these big matches I just named, I enjoyed the Io Shirai Dakota Kai match more than I enjoyed any of those other bigger matches. And I enjoyed a match that wasn't supposed to be a big match as an opener to the show, which was Finn Balor, Timothy Thatcher. I enjoyed those 2 matches more than I enjoyed the Keith Lee match, the North American title match, and the Adam Cole match. Like, and it's not, I'm not dogging NXT Takeover. I'm not saying, oh, I hated it and stuff like that. And I've said in other videos, like, I can't do what they can do. I don't run a wrestling show or anything like that. So, like, I know a lot of hard work goes into it, and you're not gonna be like putting out. You can't please everyone either, because my opinion might not be other people's opinion and stuff like that. But based on their usual performance and the way they do things, I feel like this wasn't their best work, in my opinion. I still like NXT. I still like the takeovers, and NXT is like, NXT is the best thing that WWE puts out, in my opinion. But I didn't enjoy it this time. If anybody saw NXT Takeover 30 and you enjoyed it or you didn't enjoy it, you can comment down below and be like, yeah, it was great for me or it wasn't great for me. And like I said, you know, like I'm not gonna lie on the channel and sit here and be like I enjoyed something I didn't. You know, you want people to be honest, and all wrestling fans are not gonna be cohesive and enjoy the same things. Like, we're gonna be split on certain things. If you enjoyed my recap video on NXT Takeover 30, feel free to comment down below. Give me your opinion about some of the matches in NXT Takeover 30, and check out any other recap videos that I do throughout the weeks. And as always, I'll see you next time. Peace out.